Looks like we
Living on the high shelf.
hello, welcome. Today is a power hour day, and I know it's a hot one, but we are lucky to be inside and be here for our Power Hour Plus professional development program today. So thank you for joining us. My name is Robin Eisen, and I am the Special Projects Manager here at the Young Entrepreneur Institute. Thank you again for coming and for answering all of the questions. I saw some paddleboard yoga and some biking and some really great answers. For me, I have yet to visit with family. We sort of saved that for the end of the summer. So I am really looking forward to seeing my parents and hopefully my sisters towards the end of the summer. And of course, the one thing I really want to do, which I haven't done yet, is that new float down the Cuyahoga River. I don't know if anyone's done that or not, but that's something that I definitely am looking forward to doing. Today, we're going to be talking about curriculum mapping or planning using the tools in YIPPEE. And YIPPEE is our online marketplace that is filled with free and vetted resources for you to use. Joining us today, you are able to earn both professional development credits and 250 YIPPEE points. This means that you will be able to plan for and purchase one of the programs or resources that we are discussing in today's meeting. Helping me make sure we get to all your questions and comments are my colleagues at YEI. Our names all start with an asterisk in the chat box, or and when you look in the participants rather, so that you can easily find us. Feel free to use the chat function at any time during the event. And also know that an email is going to go out at the end of the event, probably tomorrow or more likely on Monday. And it'll include links and resources and sort of a guide to what we talked about today. So you don't necessarily need to write down any websites or anything. We will send that all to you in a concise email. And just so you know, we are taping today's show. I have split today's Power Hour Plus into 3 segments, targeting different grade bands. But please know that many of these products and resources that we are discussing today really don't necessarily fit only in one grade band. I made these grade bands so that we could help the educators kind of focus on which half an hour that they should attend, but feel free to stay longer because I know a lot of times our resources sort of span some of these artificial grade bands. So please stay as long as you can and hear about as many resources, and you'll have more in your toolkit to use. Our first grade band, which is the pre-K through 4th grades, excuse me. In that grade band, Marisa Matero-Mowry will introduce us to her storytelling that she does using puppets, where she engages the students in conversations around mindsets like collaboration, problem solving, and empathy. Then we will hear from Chris McIntyre from the National Inventor Hall of Fame. His innovation kits are a wonderful resource for learning about innovation and sparking creativity. And then we will hear from Kim Gorsuch and Laura Plaus about their book set, journal, and teacher's guide stemming from the books, If Not You, Then Who? These books are designed to introduce children to the fascinating world of inventions. Moving into the 30 minutes, targeting the 5th through 8th graders, Taruna Ramari from Power Speakers will talk to us about the importance of presentation and emotional skills and how they can be mastered by students. India Jones from the Western Reserve Historical Society will demonstrate how the entrepreneurial spirit helps to support a healthy community. And Roxy Hines from CEOs of Tomorrow will illustrate how their programming can help inspire youth to unlock their entrepreneurial gifts. Ariana Smith, who works at YEI, but is also an educator at Motivate to Inspire, will talk about her experience using resources at her summer camp. And finally, for the 9th to 12th grade band, Max Miro from Make with Max will talk about his resources on YIPPEE and how they help identify solutions to real-world problems and how testing them can help expand access to entrepreneurship for all. Joseph Mohiban from 220 Leadership will discuss their resources and how we can educate students and equip them for lifelong success. And Gary Schroeninger from Entrepreneurial Learning Initiative and Who Owns the Ice House will discuss how lessons offered in the book can help empower anyone to succeed. We will also hear from educator Eric Matthews, who teaches high school at North High School in Akron. So we have a jam-packed day. Feel free to stay as long as you can, learn about as many resources, ask questions, interrupt me, interrupt our speaker. We're here to help you with your planning using the free embedded resources from YIPPEE. So YIPPEE, let me start by showing you a little bit about what YIPPEE is. Let me pull up and share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yep, okay. So this is, I am currently logged in to YIPPEE as an educator. So this is what you will see when you register for YIPPEE. I have already created an account, so the only difference that you will not see here is it'll have a big button up here that says create, kind of like this button over here. The heart of YIPPEE is really in our product. So I'm going to take you right there, and then I'm going to take you back to some other information. But to really see the power of YIPPEE, you'll want to go to this nav bar. And in the nav bar up here, you'll see that I have products. I'm going to click on the products. And you can see here from our product page that there are 73 results. That means we have 73 different products in YIPPEE. See, I think someone chatted. Is there something I need to look at? No. Oh, thank you, Eileen or Evan. A reminder to get to YIPPEE, you go to yippee.exchange. Okay, right up here. So back to the 73 products that we have in YIPPEE. That's kind of a lot of products if you're looking through things. So we created these filtering systems where you can filter by grade, by category, by entrepreneurial skill, and by availability. You can also filter over here by most recent, highest point value, lowest point, best ratings, and most ratings. And I'll get into these in a second because that might be a little confusing. I think one of the most important things for educators is to be able to sort by grade. So let's say we were in second grade and we wanted to find out what we had available in second grade. You can see that we went from 73 to 24, but let's say you wanted even more than that. You wanted to then filter by category. So second grade, and you wanted speakers. You wanted someone to come into your classroom and help you or, identify one of the entrepreneurial skills and help you with that in your classroom. Now we have 7. So you can go through these and you can also then say, okay, I want by highest point value. So now we're going to take these 7 and we're going to sort it by highest point value. Points are what you use in YIPPEE to purchase your product. You earn points by doing things like coming to this power hour, by learning about other entrepreneurial resources. Soon you'll be able to earn points by referring a friend. You'll earn points by registering. We make it pretty easy for you to get points because we want you to use these products. So you can go through these products, and I'm just going to go straight down to one that I know is right here, which is interactive storytelling with Marisa. So she's going to speak in a second, but let's say you already know that you want her product. You click on her product and it takes you to her product page, and the photo's not showing up. I just don't think I have bandwidth here, but it really goes into what is this product. You learn more about it here in the information. You can learn all about it. And Marisa, I'm not gonna share with you everything here because Marisa will, but if you were looking without coming to this, you could do this on any one of those 7 items. And you can also look up here by the entrepreneurial skill. And another great thing that we have here are reviews by other educators who have used her product. So you can see that Monica Mateson from Onaway Elementary School used her product and learn about what she thought about the product too. So you can learn about these products from other educators in the system. I'm going to take a quick stop just to see if there's any questions before I continue on with a little bit more about what YIPPEE can do. Do we have any questions in the chat? Anything? Okay, I'm going to continue on real quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to Marisa. Some of the other things, am I frozen? I think I'm frozen. So I'm going to just tell you about these things. Up here in the top nav bar here, you can see that we have the points. This is my wallet. This means that I have 290 points. You can also search for products in the search bar up here. And these buttons here, this one is the community, which means you can look for other educators if you wanted to maybe connect with another educator. Maybe you wanted to shoot Monica an email and ask her more questions about how she used it or when she used it. You can do that here too. So I'm going to stop sharing because my screen is definitely frozen here, and just mention a couple other things. YIPPEE is able to, you can look in YIPPEE on different categories. So if you knew you were looking for categories like a speaker or curriculum or maybe supplies, you were looking for to just get some supplies, you can narrow down your search that way. We are able to give products for free to all of our educators through the generous funding from our sponsors. Some of the sponsors do have geographic limitations. So right now we can offer all of our products to people in Northeast Ohio, educators in Northeast Ohio. And by educator, that means anyone teaching a class. It doesn't have to be a traditional class. It can be a homeschool or a camp program or an out of school time program or a traditional program. We are able to provide our premium products to those individuals, but there are many 0-point products that are available to any educator. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Marisa, who is going to talk about her program. And then we will hear from Chris McIntyre, and then we will hear from If Not You, Then Who Brands. Okay?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Storytelling with Marisa, and I do interactive storytelling with children. I come into your classroom and we gather all the children together in a very intimate setting. And I have puppets and a magic bag. So here's my little magic bag. And my puppets are my companion as we sort of create this conversation that's going to take place. So I'm just going to pull out a few of my puppet friends and sort of tell you and talk to you about just a little bits of the conversation that would happen. I should say really our time together is to really encourage and inspire and share. That's really kind of an amazing piece that happens, this sort of sharing that takes place as we're together in this setting. So one of my favorite little friends that comes out is my friend right here. This is Sammy, and Sammy is a flying squirrel. And I'm telling you that children of all ages across the board forever know that this is a flying squirrel and that squirrels don't actually fly, but they glide. So Sammy sort of comes out and Sammy talks about, you know, I'm feeling a little discouraged right now. I have to figure out how I'm going to sort of get from one branch to the other. I don't know what to do. I've been falling. Just forget it. I'm just giving up. I'm never going to be a flying squirrel ever. And then what happens is this kind of amazing revelation of, wait, I've got a great idea for you, Sammy. I can help you. And all of this conversation happens. Words of encouragement. Sammy, don't give up. Sammy, believe in yourself. Sammy, you can do it. Then what else happens are these different strategies that students and children come up with. Maybe if you try to go up a few more branches and sort of come down, you might have a better chance of making it across. And then the next layer that happens is we start to share in our own lives. The children share about things that they've been working on and how you have to work at something to get a little bit better. And then maybe another student in the classroom might say, Sarah, you should try it this way and don't give up. And maybe Jackson in the classroom might say, you know, that's a really good idea. What if you do this? Or somebody else will share, I have been working at this for so long and now I can really do it. So what happens is all of a sudden, all this confidence and this sort of feeling brave come up, and it's this really sort of beautiful and amazing conversation that happens about perseverance and giving words of encouragement and just sharing how we can all really relate and how important it is to work at something and maybe think of different ways of doing different things, and making that goal doesn't always have to be the big sort of goal to like achieve it, but that little bits of working at something always bring positive endings. So that's kind of a really cool little thing. And then Sammy will say, oh, thank you, everybody. You know, kind of Sammy starts to sit up a little bit more, and you could just see just physically that he starts to feel more confident and very brave. So that's just one little sort of piece that can happen. Another very beloved friend by students all over is my friend Pablo the polar bear. So Pablo the polar bear kind of comes out. This is a time where we sort of talk about empathy and feelings, and sort of Pablo the polar bear is feeling super shy, doesn't even really want to look at the classroom or the students. And we sort of have this whole conversation about that feeling of what does it mean to feel shy? What could we say to Pablo that would maybe make Pablo feel more comfortable and maybe make Pablo realize that it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, but you're safe here and everything's going to be all right. And this sort of whole conversation comes out of this, the students and the children, and they start sort of asking questions like, maybe we have something in common with Pablo the polar bear. We find out that we sure do, believe it or not, have a lot in common with the polar bear. We could like ice cream and popsicles. Pablo likes to read books. Pablo likes to go on hikes. And then what happens is that Pablo in turn asks the students, share what it feels like to be shy for you, and maybe how you sort of overcome that. And then we have that really wonderful sort of circle of also knowing that sometimes we feel shy, and what can we do to sort of make ourselves feel a little more comfortable? What can we say to ourselves? And then also for other students that might be in the classroom that are feeling a little shy or a little reserved, just knowing that those feelings are not just your own, that they can also be others too, that you have these feelings, and it doesn't have to just be you alone having this feeling, that we understand what it's like to feel that way too, and how can we make ourselves feel a little bit better? So all this sort of wonderful conversation happens about feelings and what we can do to sort of push forward, and different strategies too that we can sort of say to another student to make them feel a little bit better. Something as simple as, hey, do you want to play? Hey, do you want to come and draw with me? Come and sit and do this puzzle with me. All those sorts of things come out in this very intimate conversation. And at the end, once again, Pablo's feeling good, feeling like he's known everybody forever. And it's this sort of wonderful kind of ending to this conversation of a friend being shy, just sort of feeling really built up, and once again, confident that it's okay to feel that way, and that you can move forward and you can do it, and you can make a new friend. You could think of a good idea and share it. So that's kind of this whole sort of fun piece that comes from Pablo. And then I'm just going to pull out one more friend.
Just one more, because we got
just one more. Okay, here we go.
One more.
And our last little friend, maybe for instance, might be somebody like Sasa Sydney. Just talks about, what does it mean to sort of be happy? What are those feelings that we can kind of share with others? And sort of those different feelings of using your imagination, and how do we create sort of different thoughts and ideas that might inspire us to do different things and share different things with others. So that's kind of a really great ending. We always have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I always have a conversation with you as teachers and educators. If there's a little something you would want me to highlight, or something that's maybe going on in the classroom that you want to talk about, but it's really sort of this beautiful, intimate setting of just conversation and great ideas and the use of imagination and all those good things. I could go on and on, but thank you for letting me have this much time.
Real quickly, Marisa,
Yes.
do you Zoom into a classroom or do you go into the classroom?
Well, I think we for years and years obviously have been going into the classroom. I'm totally ready, willing, and able to come into your classrooms again. But in the last 2 years, we've all set up the ability to be able to Zoom. So that's also an option too. So both options 100% can be done.
Excellent. And then I just would like to mention one other thing before we move on, and that is Marisa's storytelling has targeted mostly to the pre-K to 4, but she has in fact gone into special needs classes in high schools and has worked with older students. So while it's completely appropriate for the younger students, if you know someone who it would be appropriate for olders, I know Marisa would be willing to extend
Totally.
that age.
Totally
Yeah.
can work too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to move on to Chris McIntyre now from the National Inventor Hall of Fame. Chris, you want to tell us a little bit about your invention kits?
Yeah, so I am happy to be here. National Inventors Hall of Fame was founded by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in the 70s. We're based here out of Northeast Ohio. Most educators and our partners know us for our program called Camp Invention, right? So every year we have a new class of inductees that inspire our programming that then we do in turn with our partners. We do a new set of curriculum every summer, but the product that you can get from YIPPEE, we have 1, an activity book that's free with some free STEM activities. And then 2, for your points, you can do Innovation Force limited edition. So I'm going to share my screen. Is that a doable thing? Robin, are you okay with that?
I think you have that ability.
I do have that ability. I just wanted to make sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
I think I'm sharing. I think I shared everybody's faces. I apologize. Give me another try. There we go. I don't think I'll need sound, but so I am sharing our website, invent.org. If you want to learn more about us, you can go there. But then for YIPPEE, what I want to show you is Innovation Force Limited Edition. So what you see here, kids are going to have a packet that has some materials and then also some worksheets. There's a better view of all the worksheets that are included, but the kids get to learn about some of our inductees. And instead of talking about their inventions or their patents or their intellectual property as a product, we're talking about it as their superhero ability. So then your students are going to be able to create their own superhero identity by identifying something that they would want to create to change the world in a super ability or in an invention. And then there's some quiz challenge sheets and some activities that are included in this kit to kind of really, it's a good icebreaker. So maybe at the beginning of the school year, and if you're working with younger kids that haven't dipped their toes into STEM activities quite as much, this is really a good exposure to invention education for the first time. So that being said, that's really all I have to say about it, but I've gotten lots of good feedback from our YIPPEE, YIPPEE contestants or YIPPEE educators, that it's really a great intro for them at the beginning of the school year or an outro at the end of the school year as they're looking for activities to do that aren't quite something they would do on the normal, but all of our products are standards aligned at state and national levels. So for you curriculum people out there looking for that, let me know how I can help you align it with your scope and sequence or any activities you have coming out. We can help kind of pick out pieces and parts.
Excellent, Chris. Thank you so much. And I know that I've read some of the reviews and people just really do love this, and it's very hands-on and interactive. So thank you for sharing that with us today. Yeah, our last presenter for the first band of grades, I don't want to say first grade because it's really pre-K to 4 or thereabouts, are both Laura Plaus and I think Kim Gorsuch is also here. So Laura, I'm going to hand it over to you to tell us about your fabulous books.
Great. Well, thanks so much. And we're delighted to be following Chris because we're in the invention area too. So I think we tie in really well together. So I'm glad to be following you. So the books are called the If Not You, Then Who series of books. And they follow Brooke and Noah and Graham, who are siblings, and they go through various different settings and adventures and activities where they're looking at ways to solve problems. So it's all focused around teaching kids at a young age problem-solving skills through invention and innovation and creativity. And the books are things like Let the Games Begin, where the kids are all together to play outside and no one can decide on the game. So instead, they put their minds together and they come up with a new game, combining things together that they know about that each one of them can bring into it. The Inventor in the Pink Pajamas is Brooke going through her day and seeing that there are ways that she can make things easier. And, why does it take so much time to get dressed in the morning? How can I make it easier on me? Things that are everyday problems, and kids are learning to look at them in a way that is gives them the ability to say, oh, I can change this, and I can be an inventor and an innovator. And throughout the books, there are snippets of information about inventions that have taken place throughout history, and they're everyday inventions. So when Brooke is walking to school with her grandfather, he tells her about who invented the signal lights, the traffic signals, things like that. Yeah, and Kim's got the book out there. So
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And then we've got Noah's Treehouse. So this one is more about design, and Noah is building a treehouse with his dad, and they've got to come up with a design. They have to figure out how to make it. So here you're going into sort of the prototyping idea of invention. And along with that, there's certain problems that happen, like it starts to rain. So how do they keep building and keep themselves covered while it's raining? And then another book is We're Going Green, and this is all focused around environment. And Noah is coming up with a science invention for his school fair.
Yeah. So if I could jump in,
of course.
like one of the things that each book has is a story about inventions, but it also has an emotional challenge for each kid. So for example, in Games, which is the yellow book, this is about how to create a game that everyone can play. So they have a friend who's in a wheelchair, for example, and it's like, what kind of game could we create that would accommodate them? In Going Green, Noah is doing his very first presentation ever. And it's about how he practices for that, how he does his research, and how he overcomes his nerves. So we're not only teaching kids about inventions and STEM activities, but we're also providing how do you work through the emotional challenges that may also get in your way.
Excellent. As far as YIPPEE is concerned, the product on YIPPEE for our educators is these books are beautiful. I have to say they feel nice. They're not like, a book that, they're high quality books. That's the best way I can say it. And a box set comes to the educator with all of the books together. And then the educator also gets a guide to how to use these. And every student gets their own journal. So if you could talk like just real quickly about the journal that the student gets, so that our educators understand the package of materials that they will be getting should they elect to purchase this on YIPPEE.
Cool. So Laura, we'll maybe do this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we're doing here is presenting an innovation process to the kids. and then giving them activities that go from pretty simple to relatively complex, that lets them practice the skills of innovation and prototyping. So this is an activity book. It's about almost 120 pages, but it's giving kids a process and a method for practicing the tools of invention. And it's super high quality. It feels really great. It's got great paper. We want kids to be really proud of having these, so that we're introducing them to literacy as well as invention. So the packaging is meant to be very awesome for tactile kids.
And I'll just add, along with that, they're going to get the Educator guide, and which comes with a series of lessons for each, a lesson on with each book that deals with the different steps of invention. So the observing and identifying problems and brainstorming solutions and coming up with the solution that they want to work on, prototyping their ideas, refining them, and presenting them. So there's all those are in the Educator guide and the lessons with worksheets that come along too, along with our Young Inventors Club, which is online. So there's an online aspect that you can join, and there will be additional activities there. The lessons are aligned to the NSTA National Science Standards, and the ones that will be launching online in the Inventors Journal will also have alignment to Common Core National Standards in language arts and science. And math, I'm sorry.
We will have to update the profile on YIPPEE to include that, because I know our educators are very interested in that. So let's kind of remember to do that. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. Are there any questions before we move on to the 5th through 8th grade band for our speakers today? I'm going to just give a second for that. Any educator out there have any question that they want to type into the chat box? Raise your hand, anything? Okay. All right. Well, you guys are welcome to stay on. Everyone is welcome to stay on for the entire time. But I did want to, personally thank you in case you did decide to jump off.
Thank you.
And so everyone knows, Eileen did drop everyone's links, our speakers' links into the chat. So you can go check that out right away if you would like. Okay. Okay. We're at the 4:34 mark, which means we're running a tad bit behind, but I will make sure we get right back on schedule. I want to welcome everyone to the second segment of our Power Hour today, where we are discussing curriculum mapping using tools that are vetted and free from the YIPPEE website. YIPPEE is an online marketplace for entrepreneurship education resources that is open to all educators. Educators who teach in a traditional classroom, homeschool teachers, teachers in out of school time, camps, really any adult who has an audience of students who are looking to learn about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship education. I wanted to just give a quick overview of what's going to happen in this 25 minutes. I am going to do a quick overview of the YIPPEE website, followed by Taruna Ramari from Power Speakers. She's actually coming to us from somewhere very far away in a different time zone. So she is going to be speaking to us, but then she is going to have to get off. So if there are questions for Power Speakers, we're going to take them right after Taruna speaks. Taruna is going to be speaking about her organization, which is Power Speakers, and the importance of presentation and emotional skills and how they can be mastered by the students. India Jones from Western Reserve Historical Society will jump on right after Taruna, and Roxy Hines from CEOs of Tomorrow will talk about their programming, and we will also have an educator's point of view during this half hour. So we've got a lot to do. Please yes.
I don't think that we've had any educators join us since the start. So perhaps you want to save the YIPPEE description until at
Maybe
the
later?
end of this half hour, and then maybe you get the end of one and the beginning of the other, just in the interest of time, shift to our partners.
Perfect. That's great. We will move right on to, unless there's any questions or anything before we head on to power speakers. Any questions? All right. Well, Taruna, I am going to hand it over to you. Are you here? Let me even see. I do not see Taruna. I know she is, like I said, she said she was coming, but from, I think, India or some other place. So maybe something happened. I am not sure. Okay, well, we will move Taruna. If she does show, we will move her towards the end of this half an hour. And I did see Roxy, but before Roxy, is India Jones here? Anyone from Western Reserve Historical Society? India, are you here?
She's here.
Okay, so we're going to move right on to you so you can tell us how what your program is and the benefits and how we can access it. And I'll turn it over to you.
So at the Western Reserve Historical Society, we have our youth entrepreneurship education programming. It's for students in grades 4 to 7. Just in the past couple of school years, we've allowed 8th grade students to participate in the 7th grade program just because of COVID and kids kind of missing out on being able to participate in the programming. Just a quick little description. It is curriculum that we create, that we provide to teachers and students in the form of handbooks, and then they do a field experience. So they come to either Hale Farm or the Cleveland History Center, and they do a 2-hour program that centers around entrepreneurship. So really our main focus is to try and make social studies and history more relevant through the perspective of like the entrepreneurial spirit and innovation. We've been doing this programming for about 10 years. We've served over 27,000 kids throughout the years from CMSD. And so the programming is funded through Burton D. Morgan for the most part. And our main focus is to provide programming to CMSD students. We've recently opened it up to some of the inner ring suburbs. So Bedford Heights, Maple, Garfield, and even some of the Cleveland charter schools and some of the Cleveland Catholic schools. And so for those particular students, it's free of charge. So they don't pay for anything. So schools don't have to pay for transportation or coming to visit the museum or get the curriculum.
So just to be
materials.
clear though, India, the programs on YIPPEE are free and open to Northeast Ohio, all educators in Northeast Ohio, not just the ones that you're mentioning through another funding source.
Yeah, so it is open to everyone. So every Northeast Ohio, they can participate, but for certain students, it is free of charge. So they don't have to worry about any cost.
But just to be clear, if someone registers for your program through your YIPPEE portal, it is free of charge. No, I'm saying it is free of charge. I just want to make sure that that is clear to any of the educators here. If you happen to be in a school that you don't have the benefit of it being free of charge from another avenue, YIPPEE is a fantastic source for you to get this resource free of charge. We too do not pay for transportation, but we do pay, as the YIPPEE resource, we do pay for entry into the Western Reserve Historical Society for those 2 programs, or 3, I think there are. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that.
Okay. It is 4 programs. There's a program for 4th grade students. They visit Hale Farm, and basically that is teaching kids about life in the 1800s, how the settlers came to Northeast Ohio and how they lived. They visit a blacksmith, a glass blower, and they just learn more about how entrepreneurship has this connections to providing things for people in your community. And so we keep that theme going throughout the other programs for grades 5, 6, and 7. Those students visit the Cleveland History Center. The 5th grade program focuses a lot on productive resources and regional specialization and some of those early pioneers of industrialization in Northeast Ohio. One of the big heavy hitters we talk to the kids about is Garrett Morgan. and his innovation and what type of entrepreneur he was and how he provided things for people in the community. And so the kids use those artifacts that they see in the museum, and they are able to use primary source documents to be able to learn more about entrepreneurship and how all of these things connect. They create a business plan towards the end of the program. When they go back to the classroom, they can expand on that a little bit more. The 6th grade program focuses a lot on innovation and the 3 fundamental questions of economics. So what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce it. And so we use different artifacts throughout the museum to help the kids answer those questions. And then the 7th grade program is mainly about how entrepreneurs and businesses have an effect on your community. So the kids study the Huff neighborhood, the historic Huff neighborhood in the city of Cleveland. We look at photographs over time of Huff. So as early as like 1897, they see these images of the Huff neighborhood up until about the 1980s. And they analyze the neighborhood, they see how it's changed, they make connections to their own neighborhood that their school is in. And we look for what businesses exist in their community and how they can improve it themselves. So they create a little plan, like almost like city planners. They draw things out. They come up with different businesses of what they think should be put in their neighborhood. And we just try to make those connections about why is it important for entrepreneurs, especially if they were to become those entrepreneurs, why is it important for that stuff to come out of their own community? So I think I covered the programs pretty well. It's a lot of stuff, but
there is
one
a lot
important
of stuff.
thing is that it is aligned with the Ohio social studies standards and the financial literacy. So we make sure that we're studying that and watching those standards all the time to make sure that the programs are actually aligning with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the chat, we were able to make some connections with some of what you're doing and some of what Chris is doing over at the National Inventor Hall of Fame. And I love it when those crosses happen. Okay, thank you very much, India. We're going to go ahead and move on to Roxy Hines from CEOs of Tomorrow. Roxy has a fantastic program that we here at YEI just implemented also. So we're going to be able to hear from our educator, Ariana Smith, at the same time. Ariana works at YEI, but she also runs a program in the summertime and was able to use the resources and the curriculum of Roxy's materials. So we will be able to hear from Ariana with her educator hat as well. So Roxy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Roxy Hintz, and I have just a couple slides so that you can actually see what we do. I'm the founding executive director of CEOs of Tomorrow, and my Zoom image is right on the top here. Here we go. All right. So I'm the executive director of CEOs of Tomorrow, but I do want to let you know that I'm an educator of 30 years. I've been a classroom teacher, a teacher trainer, culturally responsive teacher leader, an education consultant for our state of Wisconsin. And I'm really have always married business and entrepreneurship with education throughout my 30-year educational career. We offer you our impactful creations. They're a business kit in a box for kids, and the students in your classroom can learn about entrepreneurship while opening a gummy bear business right from your classroom. It's a business in a box, and with it, all the aspects of entrepreneurship can be taught. The business model canvas, which is taught in colleges and universities to help people understand business. We teach lean startup, which is also taught in colleges. That too is a part of the curriculum. It comes with I'll go to the next slide here, and I'll come back to that one momentarily. So in the kit, it's enough for your entire classroom to launch a business. You'll see again that it's our gummy candy business. It comes with 36 flavors of gelatin, 36 unflavored gelatins, 4 gummy bear molds, 4 gummy mold liquid droppers, cleaners to clean the brushes, packaging materials, some disposable gloves, notepads, because again, they use business model canvas, 30 boss pencils, because kids do become the boss. But that's not it. As I shared before, there's a teacher's guide. Oftentimes, teachers want to make sure that they really can teach the lessons that relate to business and entrepreneurship. So it's step-by-step lessons that guide your students through creating their own logos, building their own marketing materials, in addition to designing their business plan. Each of the students also get a downloadable student workbook so that they too have documents they can use while also moving through the process. This is a real business, so students can also make money. We've had lots of schools and students launch businesses through CEOs of Tomorrow, including this particular business in the box, our gummy bear business, and found that they really can understand and unpack and see entrepreneurship in real life by actually experiencing it hands-on. All of our curriculum is aligned to the National Business Education Association standards. Those are for all K-12 education as it relates to entrepreneurship, and also links to curriculum as well. So I wanted to bring this to you today. It's a great way, again, for classroom teachers to not only engage students in entrepreneurship, but also have a hands-on true experience in entrepreneurship with their students. Again, impactful creations.
I love the packaging.
Thank you.
And just how everything works together.
Thank you. And there's one last thing I want to share. We focus on social entrepreneurship education. That means that not only do our students learn how to use their businesses to generate revenue, but also how to use them to impact the world. So we really encourage in this kit and all of our programs, but in this kit as well, for students to think about how they can use their business not only for themselves, but also how to impact the community at large. So they're thinking about not only how to make money and design a logo and entrepreneurship and all those things, because entrepreneurial thinkers are important, as you all know, no matter the field, but they're also thinking about being empathetic and truly using their knowledge, skills, and what they learned to, as I said before, impact the world. So I just wanted to bring that to you all today, and it is available on YIPPEE.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Roxy. And I know, like I said, Ariana Smith was able to help us, or was able to test out this product for us. All of the products on YIPPEE are vetted, and many of them get implemented by us with some of our student-facing activities. And I'm going to let Ariana talk about that for a quick second. Evan, are you able to help? Excellent. Thank you, Evan.
My name is Ariana Smith, and I'm a program coordinator for YEI as well as an educator. If you're anything like me, you're always looking to find a fun and creative way for
Oh, I can't hear it anymore.
always looking to find a fun and creative way for
Why don't we start it again? We'll try it one more time. Technology is
Ariana Smith,
wonderful when it
and
works.
I'm a program coordinator for YEI as well as an educator. If you're anything like me, you're always looking to find a fun and creative way for
You know, it always works when you're testing it, right? Like my computer didn't freeze before I came on the Zoom
That
call.
always happens.
My name is Ariana Smith, and I'm a program coordinator for YEI as well as an educator. If you're anything like me, you're always looking to find a fun and creative way for your students to learn new materials or to supplement the lessons that you're already teaching. While planning for my summer program, I looked on YIPPEE to find an activity or content to help me to further engage my students. In my search process, I found CEOs of Tomorrow's Impactful Creations launched a gummy bear business. This curriculum activity proved to not only be engaging, but it was a fun and impactful addition to my entrepreneurship classroom. Students were not only engaged with learning how to start their own business, but they loved the fact that they were able to create, potentially sell, and of course, eat their own handmade gummy bears. If you're looking to find an easy addition for your classroom, I would highly recommend this product. CEOs of Tomorrow sends everything that I needed for the success of my students all in one box. As an educator, this helped me significantly because I didn't have to travel to multiple stores or place an order on Amazon in order to get the materials that I needed to implement this in my classroom. In addition, you're provided with an in-depth instruction guide on how to implement this in your classroom. In this guide, it even offers easy step-by-step instructions for your students to follow as they're making their own gummy bears. The curriculum was great because it leaves room for you to be able to customize it based upon the needs of your classroom. This activity honestly was one that my students truly enjoyed participating in and that I also enjoyed teaching them. I could not have decided on a more effective, easy to use tool for my classroom. If you had any hesitation or question about whether or not this would work for your classroom, I would definitely say to take that leap of faith and purchase this product on the YIPPEE marketplace today. It's beyond worth it. Thanks. My name is Ariana.
Thank you, Evan. I appreciate your persistence there and making sure that we heard all of Ari's review of CEOs of Tomorrow's Impactful Creations product. I know speaking with Ari, she loved it. She thought it was really fantastic. She loved the materials, especially the teacher's guide that was sent, and the kids loved making the gummies and tasting the gummies, and they really learned a lot from that program. So I really appreciate both Ari and Roxy. Thank you for what you are doing. Has Taruna shown up, or is she still not around? Because I will present. Evan, has she, or Eileen?
Not seen her at all. No.
Not seen her. Okay. I know Taruna, she was, when I asked her if she wanted to do this, she said she was visiting family, I think, like in India or somewhere in a total different time zone. I said, are you sure you want to do this? And she said yes. And I think, something must have happened, or maybe there was technology difficulties, but she did want to come. So I will do the best that I can to explain her product, because it is a fantastic product and one that our students really need to learn, and that's public speaking. Her product focuses solely around the art of persuasion and public speaking. And for many students, especially those in 6th, 7th, and 8th, which is what her product really focuses on, it can be anxiety producing, it can be traumatic, but we also know that it is necessary to succeed in business and to succeed in life, to be able to express and advocate for yourself and speak in public, and all those skills that you learn when you really need to do a presentation. And I can't think of any job that you don't need good public speaking skills, especially the ones that are a little bit more focused on entrepreneurship. You always have to be ready to explain what your product is and give your elevator speech. And her product really works with those skills and those communication skills. And I know they have, they will tailor their product for you, like where you are on your public speaking or your communication sort of range. And they do also have this program called AdZap, which is like a marketing kind of communications competition that they enter some of their students in. So it can be used in any type of classroom setting. I know we had one of our YIPPEE ambassadors use it in an out-of-school program, and he thought it was fantastic. In fact, let me see if I can read his review. His review said that the communication, a sign of real professional, the way Taruna handled her classroom and handled a communication gap that the two of them had. And she said the way she kept it simple to learn and focused on each individual, which makes it impactful, is something that all of us educators can learn from. I saw smiles, laughter, and kids getting over their fears. It's the right way of teaching. And that was from Ryan Hulick, who is a Neighborhood Centers Association educator. That was his 5-star review on YIPPEE. So while we don't have Taruna here to promote her product herself, we are able to look at YIPPEE and look at the reviews and really figure out what type of product we want, right? Any questions or anything on any of the products that we are presenting for the grade bands 5 through 8? Okay. Let's see, let me just give me 1 second and we're going to move on to our 9 through 12 band. Like I said, we were going to make up some of that time, and here we are a little bit early. So I'm not sure I want to start. What do you guys think? Eileen, should I go ahead and start with the 9 through 12 band, or do we want to maybe have questions? Or
I think start with the 9 to 12, and then we'll do a wrap up with a YIPPEE demonstration for anyone who'd like to stay on.
Perfect. Okay. So for our 9 through 12 grade band, we have 3 fantastic new programs. Max Miro from Make with Max will talk to us about his resources. And I know I've actually consulted with Max on some computer issues and marketing issues that were outside of his YIPPEE product, but he's so knowledgeable, he was able to help me. So thank you, Max. Excited to learn about your product here today. We also have Joseph Mohaban from 220 Leadership, and he is going to talk about his resources and how we can help educate students and equip them for lifelong success. And finally, Gary Schoeninger from Entrepreneurial Learning Initiative will talk about the book, Who Owns the Ice House? And he will discuss how lessons in this book can help empower anyone to succeed. And then finally, Eric Matthews, who is an educator at North High School in Akron, will give us an educator point of view. He is here live, so we will not have technology difficulties with that one. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Max. Max, you are up.
I have also not seen Max.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if he's thinking it's an hour different, because he also is not in this time zone. So is Joseph here? So Joseph, I'm going to let you start. I'm going to send Max a quick email and remind him that we're on this time zone, not his time zone.
Perfect.
Oh, he just entered the room. Go ahead.
You sure, Robin?
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for having me. My name is Joseph Moiban. I am one of the co-founders of 220 Leadership, and we are longstanding partners with YEI and really appreciate the opportunity to connect with them on really any partnership opportunity and connect with you all today. So thank you for having us. So we are an educational technology organization. We work with nonprofits, schools, and community-based organizations to help youth become leaders, creators, and entrepreneurs. So we are all about and really aligned and mission aligned with everyone here, but we are really focused on helping them get to whatever their ultimate goals are for their future. Here at 220, we call that their second to none future, because 220 is an acronym for second to none. So it's a theme in everything that we do. We want for youth to be able to achieve whatever their ultimate goals are. And so we call that their 220 life. And we do this through our online platform. We have 4 core learning tracks that we offer here at 220. And we build our content through those 4 pillars because we believe that if youth can learn these 4 things, then they will be successful no matter what path they go down for their future. So we teach youth leadership skills, professional skills, entrepreneurship, of course, which is why we're here, and personal finance skills, really trying to help them ensure that they have those money and financial literacy skills that they need to achieve the future that's most important to them. So on the YIPPEE platform, we have 2 products currently. We have 1 free product or 0-point product, which is our 3 to Thrive PDF. And so that's an introduction into some of the content that we offer at 220. It's 3 activities that educators can print or do virtually with their students, that really just helps them reflect and think about the future that is most exciting to them. So we help them tease out some of the passions and things that they're interested in and things that they're good at. We help them come up with a 10-year vision for their future, really focusing in on their work, their lifestyle, and their relationships that would be most ideal to them. And then we help them work backwards to start working on the critical activities that are going to move the needle and really help them get to that future. For a lot of students these days, that's entrepreneurship, but we don't want to limit every student to just being a business owner. We want them to really think about what their life would look like if they could create it from scratch and what that second to none future would look like. And then our second product on the YIPPEE store is the Unlock Your Inner Entrepreneur curriculum, which is a little more robust program that educators can use to do synchronous learning with the students that they work with. It's really focused on helping them come up with business ideas and become creators and problem solvers and coming up with solutions that they see in their schools, in their community, and in the world. So that is a quick rundown of what we do here at 220 and how we are partnering with YEI and the YIPPEE store. Happy to take any questions now, or Robin, go deeper on anything that you think would be relevant for the group today.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to explain like how the process works. Like once an educator connects with you through YIPPEE, what is the process?
Yeah, so the educators can go onto YIPPEE. We have really their digital PDFs, so they can be accessed from anywhere and downloaded to just a computer or a mobile device. Those can also be printed out really easily if educators are having internet issues, or if they just want to print those worksheets for the youth that they work with. And then we connect with the educators via the discussion boards on YIPPEE directly. So they can reach out to us, ask questions, really connect with us through those stores. And then we offer office hours to all of our partners, so they can log on with our customer success team weekly to connect with us, ask questions, further the content if that's helpful. And so that's really available to educators for either one of the products that we're offering, the 3 to Thrive PDF, as well as the Unlock Your Inner Entrepreneur Synchronous Learning program.
Excellent. And do you ever Zoom into the classroom?
We do. Yeah, we are actually doing some Zooms in partnership with WAGI Labs this week with some students internationally, which was really cool. And Kelly's familiar with our guppy tank competition that we have going on right now. And so we're Zooming in to do coaching and do feedback and give some of that constructive criticism as entrepreneurs ourselves that we like to give, help them not go down the same path that we went down in certain cases and avoid some of those same pitfalls.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your work. I know it's a lot, but it's such important work, and we really appreciate our partnership and working with you. So thank you.
Likewise. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. If you can stay on just for a little bit,
Sure.
that would be great, just in case there are some questions at the end. But we are going to move back over to Max. Max, I know your work with Make with Max is highly technical and definitely geared towards the high school learner who is interested in all that you do. And I did say before you were on that you have helped me with computer stuff and figuring out some of the digital learning that comes so naturally to some of the students, but to someone like me who is, a digital immigrant, I am not quite as capable. So thank you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So really happy to be working with you guys, YEI. I'm super impressed also, just like technically, brief aside, with the YIPPEE platform. I think I love new stuff that's being built, and I love how just the process of making things accessible and like the educational products that we the educators create. So I'm very happy with the platform as well. But yeah, my name is Max. I basically my main product on YIPPEE is I teach kids how to build technical stuff, and the biggest thing that I have is a little course on how to build websites. It's free. There's no programming involved. There's very like the lowest possible barrier to entry. I've made it really, really simple. It's a series of little YouTube videos organized in a neat little format. But basically, by the end of an hour and a half of watching videos, the student will be able to competently make most website ideas that they can come up with. There are these no code platforms that are becoming really, really big and popular now. And that's what all my work is about. I just spend a ton of time looking up those different platforms, and I've basically just built a course. So in an hour and a half, by the end of it, a quick little lesson, you can do it as homework, you can do it in a class. The students will be able to build their own websites. And I usually like qualify it with like, by the end of that hour, they're a beginner level web developer in terms of what they're actually able to build, which is really powerful, both for, testing an idea, if you're into building your own thing, putting something up on the internet generally, or I know people that have built little agencies. So you can even start a little business with just that skill set of knowing how to build a website for other people. So yeah, that's the gist mainly. I don't know if there's too much else to say beyond that, but
the other program that I think is really super interesting is your testing of a product before it goes, before you actually have to put it all out there. So can you spend just a couple minutes on explaining what that is?
Totally. Yeah. That's more of a presentation. So the course can be done anywhere. The presentation is where I would come in and talk to the kids and give kind of a little lecture, just a short lecture, but basically it uses building a website super quickly just to as a leverage point. So you have an idea. Let's say you have a product idea like a skateboard, a new super fancy skateboard. You put that on a website. You make it look real. You make it look legitimate. So when people go to that website, they think you're selling this skateboard, and then you publish it in different clever places on the internet in a safe way, so you can see how people respond to your product completely for free, and usually in about a day if you put some effort in. And that's super powerful. Getting feedback on a product from real potential customers is like the biggest launching pad you can ever give an early entrepreneur, because they start to see what people like, what people don't like. They start to tweak the product and idea in their minds, and they have kind of a ground space, that website that they created, to futz and experiment and further communicate with that little customer base. I've even seen people find paying customers in that first day. So there's a whole lot you can do with that. But yeah, that's a presentation that's separate, but it kind of blends together because it's website stuff. So yeah.
But they are both products that you have made available on YIPPEE, and I appreciate that. And I have to say that one of the best things about this type of program from some of the educators who might be a little bit more like me, who are not necessarily so ready to jump into all of this like digital stuff, Max really works with you and helps you understand, and I think the students appreciate that too, and they appreciate Max's knowledge in this digital marketing realm that sometimes we can't always give or be the expert on all things in entrepreneurship. So to bring someone like Max in to really augment your program, I think is a wonderful way to go. And interestingly, both Max and Joseph are partners of YEI who live in Chicago. So they will be coming into your classroom via Zoom only, not in person like some of our other presenters today. So thank you, Max. And if you have any questions, Max and Joseph are both available to help you, and their resource links have been put into the chat and will be included in the email. We're going to move on to Gary Schroeninger. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Gary, from Entrepreneurial Learning Initiative. He is going to talk to us about the book, Who Owns the Ice House, and the lessons surrounding that. So I'll turn it over to you, Gary.
Okay, so thanks so much, Robin. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you being here. I'm going to be very brief about this. So I've been trying to figure out for more than 25 years, I've been trying to deconstruct the mindset of an entrepreneur. And my initial assumption was, if I could understand the underlying logic that drives the behavior, this could be useful to people, and not just people who want to start businesses. But there's an underlying logic beneath the activity that empowers ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Am I allowed to share my screen with you guys?
Yes, you should be able to do that.
Let's see if that's going to work. Okay, let me get this thing out of the way. Hit play. Come on. There we go.
Like I
Okay,
said,
you can see my screen? Okay.
Yes. All
Okay,
good.
so just to step backwards, my name is Gary Schoniger. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called the Entrepreneurial Learning Initiative. We are the world's leading provider of entrepreneurial mindset, education, training, and professional development. We've trained thousands of educators around the world how to cultivate entrepreneurial thinking in the classroom. That's what we do. I want to introduce you to a book I co-authored in 2010 that came out of a research project I did for the Cisco Entrepreneur Institute. I was traveling around the country interviewing hundreds and hundreds of what I would call everyday entrepreneurs. I'm not really interested in the machinations of Elon Musk's brain or Jeff Bezos. We're trying to figure out how ordinary people, how do they recognize opportunities? How do they bring their ideas to life, even if they might not be at Stanford or have access to venture capital or so on and so forth. And I came across this guy named Clifton Talbert. He was one of the founders of Stairmaster. He explained to me that he was born in this poor cotton community in the height of legal segregation. And yet, you know, he didn't have much of a future. And yet he went to work alongside his uncle who owned the local ice house. So we co-authored this book called Who Owns the Ice House? There's 8 life lessons gleaned from hundreds of interviews with everyday entrepreneurs. This is the basis of this book. There's a companion program. What we're offering you all is a classroom package with 30 books and a discussion guide, as well as little video vignettes from Clifton Talbert himself, talking about the influence of his Uncle Cleve. So I want to just tick through these very, very briefly. When we interview entrepreneurs, we hear very, almost invariably, they're articulating something on the horizon they're striving to accomplish. There's a compelling goal. And that's really probably the most important ingredient in there, that they're choosing their future. They're not allowing their circumstances to dictate. We also see that they sort of think of problems as opportunities in disguise. They intuitively understand that by solving problems for other people, they can empower themselves. And that represents a very important cognitive shift. They are action-oriented. They don't tend to spend a lot of time planning and doing formal market research. They learn by doing, they micro experiment, they try lots of little things, which is what enables them to sort of unearth opportunities that planning cannot reveal. We also see that entrepreneurs are constantly learning. They might not always be the sharpest kids in the classroom, so to speak, but they're self-directed learners. They understand the power of knowledge, and they're learning in not only formal means, but informal and non-formal means as well. They understand how to be resourceful. They understand how to invest their time, their effort, their thought, rather than spending it. They become very resourceful, so to speak. They understand the power of being reliable. Like by let's say, but by delighting their customers, they can take a simple idea and transform it into something quite powerful. They tend to surround themselves with what I would call like a community of practice. They surround themselves with other entrepreneurs. And I just found an article today in the New York Times, like the data here is so powerful. That makes more of an impact. Like surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurial people is probably the most impactful thing one can do. And then lastly, their persistence. And what we know now from the literature is this persistence is actually resilience, which comes from an optimistic perspective. It comes from hope. And I think that ties back to the compelling goal. And I think ultimately the thing that distinguishes an entrepreneurial person from a non-entrepreneurial person is a compelling goal. So what we're saying here basically is very simple. We're redefining entrepreneurship as the self-directed pursuit of opportunities to create value for others. And I think self-directed is the key word here. Kids need to learn some things in a traditional way, but what's absent is discovery learning. And for those of you who want to geek out on this, look at Jerome Brunner's excellent paper on the act of discovery. The power of discovery learning is really what's at issue here. It doesn't matter what kind of business, whether they start a business, whether they don't. We want to engage the student in entrepreneurial discovery learning. Figure out how to make yourself useful to other humans outside of a known system, guided by a professional teacher on a predictable path with a predictable outcome. And what we see is that by creating value for others, we can empower ourselves. That's the basic idea behind the Ice House book, the program. You want to learn more, I put a link to our website in there. I put a link to a little quick, minute-long video about the Ice House program. Again, we're offering a classroom kit, 30 books, a discussion guide that has all kinds of questions to engage students in this material. So I'll shut up right now. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful. I'm honored to be at the table here.
Excellent.
And I'm grateful for all of you as educators for the work you're doing day in and day out in the classroom.
Thank you, Gary. The work is fascinating, I think, and I love that you are evolving also, that you're not just taking one thing and then being done. It's sort of, you are an entrepreneur as well as studying entrepreneurs. And I think it's pretty fascinating information. So thank you for sharing today and for letting us know all about your YIPPEE resource. We're going to move on to Eric Matthews, though. Eric Matthews is an educator in the high school, North High School in Akron. He is the 2015 National ACTE Teacher of the Year. He is also a DECA District 9 president, and he's part of the Ohio Business Marketing Education Association, where he is the treasurer. So Eric, I'm going to hand it over to you, and you can let us know from the educator standpoint, about your experiences with YIPPEE.
Yes, so as Robin mentioned, my name is Eric Matthews, and Robin, thank you very much for the kind introduction. I thoroughly have enjoyed this power hour. So in Akron Public Schools, we have academies. So in Akron, every student has to select a career tech program. So my program is marketing and entrepreneurship. So the high school speakers who spoke, I'm highly interested in your material. Excellent. So how have I used YIPPEE? First of all, I am proud to say that I am a YIPPEE ambassador.
Yay.
So you would say, what is a YIPPEE ambassador? Well, we are I wouldn't say the mouthpiece, but we are the cheerleaders for YIPPEE exchange. So we share with others what we're doing, how other instructors can glean from what YIPPEE has to offer. So one of the things that I did last school year was I was involved in, so I selected the Pitch Challenge Home Field Advantage. So basically with that, I had my own pitch contest where students had to, so I focused on my senior class, and students had to come up with a business idea, and they had to pitch that business idea with one of our partners of North High School, which is Mount Union University. So they're partners with Akron North High School. So the students, the seniors, had to come up with a business idea, and they had to present those ideas to students who were seniors in the entrepreneurship program at Mount Union University. So that was really neat. So we involved the community, which our last speaker mentioned is very important. And we had the students be judges for my students. And I didn't reinvent the wheel. So what I used was I used the YE pitch rubric for our competition. And I used the format, same forms. As a teacher, we learn how to steal ideas, right? So that's what I did. And where the pitch challenge home field advantage came into play, where we were able to have prizes. The prizes were Amazon gift cards. So we had a first place, second place, and third place prize. So pretty much all that came from the pitch challenge home field advantage, as well as my involvement with these various workshops. So one of the things that I'm very focused on, I'm trying to gain points for my students, points for my program. I'm going to put in a pitch now for our fall program, which is going to be held in Akron. So those of you who are online, you will be hearing more about that, our fall program, which will be in Akron, Ohio this year. Very excited about it. So basically, that's how I've used the YE Exchange, our points for prizes for students who participate in a pitch contest evaluated by students in the entrepreneurship program at Mount Union. And it was just phenomenal. Now, 2 years ago, I had a YE pitch finalist, Rosie Yar, who was a finalist in the program that YE offers. I just have so many positive things to say about YE, about YIPPEE Exchange in this program. I've been involved for about 5 years. I've been going to the annual conferences in October in Cleveland, and I'm so glad that it's in Akron this year at a very special place that I'm telling you, you have to come. It will be life-changing. Okay. All right. That's my pitch, and that's my perspective on YIPPEE Exchange.
Eric, we really appreciate you taking the time today to share your experiences with us. We can talk about it all the time, but it adds a lot of validity when we have educators come and really, tell the other educators how they used it, why they used it, what they did, because then they know for sure that it can be implemented, that these programs can be implemented in the classroom, that they do align to state standards, that they are worthy of checking out and bringing into your classroom. So thank you for sharing today. Really appreciate you and all your work. Before we go to close, however, what was that?
I was also going to say that all of these programs are very user-friendly. That's very key for teachers. They're not very difficult. They're very user-friendly to implement.
Great. Thank you, Eric. Before we get to a couple other announcements, I do want to mention that for coming to today's Power Hour, you do receive 250 YIPPEE points, which means you can purchase any of these programs that you heard about today, or really any of the programs that are on YIPPEE right now. So I encourage you to look for the email that's going to be coming from Evan. Evan, you will probably on Monday, that will include a code for you to use in YIPPEE so that you can receive your 250 points for coming today. You also can earn 20 points for completing a survey that we're going to drop into the chat right now. So if you want to go ahead and fill that out and let us know what kind of things you're interested in hearing about in future Power Hours, how we can help you more, because we too are trying to make sure that we're giving you the resources that you need in a manner that you need them, when you need them, etc. So please take a couple seconds, fill out that survey, and the survey will also come in that email. Just a quick announcement, 2 quick announcements. Every Thursday in August, we are having a power hour that focuses, just like today's power hour, on how to use YIPPEE for your curriculum planning and your curriculum mapping. Today, we focused really on resources in YIPPEE that were specific to grade bands. Next week, we're focusing on resources in YIPPEE that are K to 12, but focus on curriculum. So we will have junior achievement for sure next week, as well as Venture Lab next week. The following Thursday, the 18th, we're going to be focusing on things like activities, which include items and supplies that you can have for your classroom. And it includes some wonderful things from Banyan Global Learning, and the Startup Squad will be coming, and hopefully Upcycle Parts will also be there. And then finally, the last Thursday in August, August 25th, we're going to be focusing on classroom speakers. These are individuals who will Zoom into your classroom. Many of them bring supplies or send supplies. So we have Chick Thompson from Waggy Labs coming, and hoping that we're going to be able to get Ethan Holmes from Holmes Mouthwatering Applesauce. And again, these are more focused not necessarily on one grade, but more on one type or one category. In addition, we have our Inspire conference coming up, and I'm going to let Eileen talk about that real quickly. I know Eric mentioned it, but Eileen has a little bit more to say about that.
Thanks, Robin, and thank you to everyone for giving so much of your time this afternoon. I know we're in our last weeks of our precious summer break, so here we go. Inspire this year will be back in person. It will be November 4th and 5th, and we have some great speakers planned. You'll hear about them soon, but please plan to spend Friday afternoon on November 4th and a good chunk of the day on Saturday, November 5th with us in person. We have speakers, we have workshops, there will be student selling, which is always a highlight. We will have some partners showcasing their things and stopping by to meet you as well. If you are interested in sharing some best practices that you have related to entrepreneurial education, we'd love to have you present in a workshop. You might have gotten an email last week from Ariana Smith asking for your interest in being a part of the presenter team. We're just looking for 30-minute sessions, and we would really love to have you let us know, and more importantly, let your fellow educators know what things work really well in the class. Similar to what kinds of things you heard from teachers today, but in an expanded format. Thanks, Robin.
Yeah, excellent. I know it's always very energizing, the conference, so I hope to see you there. And then the last thing just really is that we want to remind you that the Young Entrepreneur Institute works in youth entrepreneur space every day, and we are here to help you. We can consult with you. We can direct you to resources that are like what you've heard about today, but we are happy to have any kind of connection and contact with you. So if you are feeling a little lost or just want to bounce an idea around, or maybe you're looking for an additional resource, please just connect with us. We'd love to talk with you, so please don't be shy. I know we had a lot. If anyone was on from 4 o'clock, we've heard from 9 different speakers today and 2 different educators, and it's been a lot of information. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something, and I hope you will register for YIPPEE and purchase one of these products. So thank you to all of our speakers, all of our educators, and to all of our educators who joined us to learn about all these fantastic resources. We hope to see you next Thursday. Bye, everyone. I'll stay on for a little bit and answer questions or talk to anyone, but officially we're going to stop recording and the session is over, but I'm happy to stay on